Hi guys, thanks for having me on.
Our pleasure.
I just wanted to pick Jason up on something he said right at the start of the show. He said that the Spurs were lacking desire. It's got nothing to do with the desire from the Spurs players. It's absolutely.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. I didn't. I might have been talking about Man City. I didn't say that about Spurs.
Go back.
It's the hunger to go and search for that second goal, isn't it? The desire.
Spurs are lacking desire.
No, I didn't.
First time caller, lads. First time caller, and it was this that made me phone in. I was thinking, as I've been on hold, I've been thinking about it, and I'm interested on your thoughts really, because Jose's managed both your teams, and not so much his first stint at Chelsea, but definitely his second. And when he was at United, he was criticised for not having a plan B, and that's what we're seeing. It's the same thing every week now. We go 1-0 up. He did the same against Brentford even in the Cup last week. He goes 1-0 up and then we're looking to nick that second goal. And when you've got the attacking talent that we've got on the bench and on the field, it's unacceptable.
Yeah, well, okay, if I said it, I certainly didn't mean it, because I don't think I'm looking at a Spurs team lacking desire. I felt second half Man City lacked desire. Second half, there might have been a chance that I said that, but... Though Jose plays with the handbrake up. Jose does not allow the players to go and express themselves. Harry Kane's new role, I think he's brilliant. And he is dropping into deep areas. Son is now the one that makes those runs, and Ndombele can go and do that. Not often Sissoko, not often. And without Kane and Son, I just wonder where is that creativity coming from? Where else is it on the pitch?
Especially when you've got it on the bench, when you've got it in Dele Alli, you've got it in Gareth Bale.
I think the fact... Sorry, I think the fact, I think you said it earlier, he's only made 2 substitutions tonight, and you've got Dele Alli on the bench, Lucas Moura on the bench, 10 minutes plus stoppage time, to get a winner, and he doesn't make the changes. And actually what he's done, I quite like Vinicius, but he stuck Vinicius up front, and we're just hitting long balls. There's no plan B there, and that's why, certainly when I think of him as being a dinosaur, which seems to be the cliche at the moment, that's absolutely what I mean. There's just nothing. He's just got that. And he did well for Chelsea 15 plus years ago.
But tell you what, though, David, this Chelsea never played like this. We never played like that.
I think the second time round, I think you played a lot like this.
I tell you what he did. I tell you what he did. He played that the second half of the season in 15 when you beat us 5-2, I think, at White Hart Lane. And after that game, he then went to nicking games, but he had a better team to do it then. He had a better squad of players. And he could probably do it a little bit more convincingly. But Chelsea would always carry a threat. Chelsea would always look to go and finish games. Certainly in his first time at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea had Duff and Robin and would play those players, and he would bomb those players forward. He would make sure that the width of the pitch, played a 4-3-3 and use the width of the pitch. Very different. Very different to what you're seeing now.
Kevin's up next, a Spurs fan. 08717 2233 that's the number he's dialed. You can do the same. You can be on national radio. Hello, Kev. Good evening.
Hello, lads. How are you?
Hi, Kev.
We're excellent. How are you?
I just wanted to, not too bad. Good evening to you. Cundy, I just wanted to say, as you said about Gareth Bale, what's the point of bringing him to Tottenham and paying all that money for him and you're not playing him?
No, it makes no...
I can't understand it.
If he doesn't want to start him, I get that, because fitness clearly might still be an issue with him, because he's had a number of injuries. I think the only 90 minutes he's played this season has been for Wales. It might have been one in the League Cup, one of the league, but he hasn't played a lot. But in a game like this, where the game was stretched, Fulham didn't sit back for the point. Fulham were going for the winner as well. And in a game like that, you just wonder whether that experience of Bale coming off the bench could have really given Spurs. But look, he hasn't done it again.
I give it something different. But do you know what? Good on Fulham. Do you know what I mean? They came here and they played a game on short notice and they was upset about it. But they come and they give a game of it. Do you know what I mean? But I like Mourinho. I think we're going to win something under him. But I'm just fed up. When we can beat teams like Man United, we absolutely thumped them. We beat Man City. And then, as you said, we come up against Wolves. 1-1.
Wolverhampton. You made a team up.
Wow.
Hold on, let me write that down. Hold on.
Wolverhampton, that's amazing.
We come up against Wolves, right? We come up against Wolves, 1-1. Palace, 1-1.
Wolverhampton, 1-1.
You know what I mean?
They got beat by Wolverhampton.
I meant to say Wolves. You know what I mean?
You did.
It's and then we come up against Palace, 1-1. Now Fulham, 1-1. Yeah, there's definitely not something right there. Do you know what I mean?
Where are you going to finish, Kev?
Well, do you know what? Maybe we might get in top 4 would be nice.
Fulham will get ahead there, top 4 ahead of you.
No, listen, Candy, stop giving me an hard time. I just made a mistake there, mate.
Yeah, but look, we know, what are you digging him out for? What's the matter with you?
Having a laugh with him. He knows
digging
that.
him out for?
Kev knows that.
Kev,
Kev, listen about.
Listen, when I listened to you last night, and you was putting on that old Man United record because you're at the top. And as you said, Candy, what about when Tottenham was at the top?
Yeah.
What about when Chelsea was at the top?
What about Everton were top? Leicester were top.
Yeah, but they're not now, are they, Kev?
He put a record on then, did he? But he put a record on for Man United.
I've got to put up with this, Kev.
Kev, they're not now. They're top now, United.
Eh?
Top Manchester United now.
Yeah, but that's... You're not going to finish. You're not going to win the Premiership.
Premier League. You never know. Got more chance than Spurs.
Nah, you're not going to win it in a million years, mate.
Well, I think Fulham have got more chance of winning than you.
I've got more chance of winning the lottery than you have winning the league.
Have you put the lottery on yet?
At the end of the day, look, you've got there. You're at top at the moment by 3 points, but don't get above yourself because that ain't going to last.
Who's the best team in the Premier League at the moment, Kev? Best?
Well, I mean, it's got to be Liverpool, isn't it?
No, the best. They're second at the moment. Who's the best? Who's above them?
Well, it certainly ain't Man United.
Yeah,
not the
just
best
looking
team in
now.
the Premiership.
Premier League. Just looking now, they are top by 3 points.
Yeah, but listen, you're top by what?
3
You've
points.
got to play Man United in the
Kev,
FA
don't
Cup.
get dragged into it. He's sucking you in, Kev. Don't.
You've got to play Liverpool in the FA Cup, right? They're going to beat you.
Well, they can if we win the Premier League. I don't know. We'll beat them at the weekend.
They're going to beat you again.
Okay, look, you got your pants pulled down by Fulham tonight, and now look at you. From Australia. Happy G Day, Gerard. How are you?
Hey, I'm very well. How are you guys? Thanks for a good show, just by the way.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Thanks for listening. Very kind of you. Off you go, pal.
Always do, yeah. Listen, I don't know. It's pretty obvious that Spurs look good going forward and that we're really not that good sitting back, okay? And then you've got a world-class or a supposed world-class coach in there that cannot determine that. I mean, listen, I'd rather go back to the Klinsmann days of winning games 4-3 because, you know, at least we look good going forward. And listen, attack's the best medicine, okay? You go forward, you score more than the opposition, and there you go. But listen, supporting Spurs for 42 years now, this is why my hair's gone, because it's just bloody frustrating, okay? Honestly, same thing. And I mean, this season, we're leading 3-0 against West Ham, and then we go and draw. I mean, we actually looked like we were going to still lose it, you know? It's just pathetic, really, to watch this. And then, I don't know, I spent more than half my life being peed off every morning because, you know, of the way my team plays. It's really, I mean, you know, I don't want to win a Carling Cup or a Carabao Cup. He can take that and run into the sunset with that, honestly.
Well, I mean, when he moved to your mob, I did say he's the special once. He's not the same manager. He's not the same person. Not say he's a bad manager, but will he go on to win those elite trophies, the very, very top? Can he win the Champions League again? Can he win the Premier League again? Right?
But I'll tell you what was interesting. When he was at my club and you told me it was going to happen, you said there's like a cloud over the club. And I remember going in, and of course I'm not seeing players. I'm seeing, you know, staff that are working behind the scenes. And everyone's looking down at it. It affects everyone from top to bottom.
It does. And the only thing is, at the moment, there won't be many of those people around the ground.
No,
you know, because
that's right.
because of COVID. That cloud. I'm not saying it's happened now, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, you know, this season. But we know how it's going to end. We don't know what's going to happen in between. With Jose. But one thing we do know, we know how it's going to end.
Spurs fan. Hello, James. Good evening to you.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Well, good, thank you. How are you after that? What's going on at your club?
Mate, let me tell you, I follow the club all over Europe, okay? They're the love of my life, as I've said before. But it's just becoming unreal. And I was thinking before, I mean, you guys mentioned it, Wolves, Palace and tonight. What about West Ham? What about Newcastle? What about putting game to bed at Anfield a few weeks ago? You know, every team has a blip. You know, you saw it with Liverpool. But it is just becoming unreal. Like, unreal. Like, we've got a WhatsApp group, the boys. We sit there, 60 minutes, still 1-0. Should be smashing these teams with the best front line in the league at the moment. Well, they are one of the best front lines in world football. But we all know that it's coming. When you've got Sissoko, Wink, Heiberg on, they're holding 3 against Fulham at home. Like, really? And then every time Ndombele comes off and we're 1-0 up, we concede. We lose. It's a start. The geezer's our most creative player behind the front line. And it is becoming so frustrating. It's actually unreal. Because so many times you hear, like, Joe Public, if you like, talk about football and what people do right and what people do wrong, and you'll have a manager who gives his view, but it is so clear, and it's been going on for so long, that we should be in that.
James, let me ask you, I'm looking at some of the tweets and the texts that are coming in. This one's from John the Spurs fan. It says, another 2 points dropped. How much longer do we have to put up with this? I'll tone it down, rubbish. We want Mourinho out now. That's John the Spurs fan of 50 years. What's your view on the manager? Do you want him out?
Look, no one can deny that the guy has done it all. And Spurs, the place where Poch took us to, needed somebody that had done it all. Okay, it's almost like when we signed Joe Hart, someone in the dressing room that has done it all. Is he a dinosaur? Perhaps a little bit. I think reading between things, I think West Ham freaked him out. And he is adamant on getting a solid foundation before he lets our strikers go loose, so that these silly mistakes won't cost us if we're 2 or 3 goals up like they did against West Ham.
James, do you want him out?
Got better. Well, the bottom line is probably not. No, not yet.
Keep him. Okay.
But the problem is if he does go, who's going to come in?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but I hear that every single time.
I wouldn't worry about that.
You question a manager going. Let me tell you, there's never been a role in any club where for 5 years they've not been able to get a manager. For 5 minutes they've not. You'll always get a replacement, James.
So just one quick question to James. James, Bale, what do you think of the Bale situation? Again, not coming off the bench in a game that I believe this is one of the reasons he was bought to Spurs.
I completely agree. I was salivating. Bell, Kane and Son, even at 31, that experience again. Even if he's not got that pace, which he had when he was with us last time, his brain is so advanced to so many players that he can turn that screw. One thing I would say is I would be going all out to do whatever I could to get Christian Eriksen back at that club this month without any question. Without any question.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for your call, James. Can you see that Eriksen going back to Spurs?
No chance. No.
Nor can I. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Trevor's a Spurs fan. He's up next. 08717 22 344 if you want to have your say on National Radio. Hello, Trev. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. In fact, I know James, who just called you, right. And I think his points are very valid. I was actually going to say exactly the same thing, that I don't know what he's doing, starting with Winks, Højbjerg and Sissoko. You've got 3 effectively defensive midfielders. Sissoko is not good when he plays on the right. To me,
I agree.
He doesn't do an awful lot. And I, listening to what James just said as well, I'm not disagreeing with him because, is Mourinho a dinosaur? Well, that's questionable because we keep, as James said, Newcastle, West Ham, Palace, Wolves, Fulham, all draws when we've been in the lead. And we've chucked it down the drain because we sit back and let these teams come on to us. Just one thing I want to say. I thought Fulham were fantastic tonight.
No, you're absolutely right.
Half, I thought they were brilliant.
Yeah.
And to be fair, they almost deserved a win, let alone a draw. I mean, 15 attempts each, and most of ours were in the first half. We had 2 in the second half where Sonny hit the post and Sissoko ran through and they made a challenge in the box. That was it. We didn't see much else. And to be honest, it keeps happening. As James just said, game in, game out. We are going to struggle to make top 4 undoubtedly.
Do you want him out, Trevor?
No, I can't say I do because the guy's a proven winner. You can't say that. When a guy's such a winner...
Trevor, let me ask you then. If you don't get top 4, you win the League Cup, is all forgiven?
Not really, because although I want a trophy, I still want to get into the Champions League next year. That's what you strive for.
Trev.
Every night we go and see those games, the atmosphere is rocking. With Europa League, you don't get such a great turnout.